So here's another example of the use of thumbnails in order to plan and time out animation. These are some thumbnails that I did on the movie Open Season, which I worked on some years ago. It was a really, really fun experience, a great movie to work on, great training, and really fun to animate the bear Boog, who was voiced by Martin Lawrence. And as with almost all the productions I've worked on, I found that when I thumbnailed my work clearly and well, I would get good results. And when I was lazy or in a big hurry, and I thought, well, I'll just skip the thumbnailing stage and go straight into animation, that was usually where the trouble began. So the theme of the film of Open Season was about essentially tameness versus wildness, or what does it mean to be a wild animal versus a domesticated pet. And the two main characters were this bear, Boog the bear, and Elliot the deer. And Boog is a domesticated bear, and Elliot is a wild deer. And initially, Elliot starts the film wanting all the goodies that Boog has, all the kind of comforts of home, but in the end they end up embracing the wild existence. And so that's basic. I think there's an Aesop's fable about it, which is probably based loosely on about a wolf and a domesticated dog, something like that. I forget. Anyway, that's the basic theme of the film. The Boog character at some point has to kind of take a stand against these hunters who are threatening to kill the animals in the forest. And he's played by Martin Lawrence, who gave a really lovely voice to the character, really rich, round tones that he has. So we all started off at a great advantage because we had this terrific voice talent to work with. So the line that I had to animate was Boog kind of screwing his courage to the sticking point when he realizes that he's got to take a stand against the fighters. And he says, when I'm a bearskin rug, they could walk all over me. But until that happens, I ain't going out without a fight. And it was a really nice line to get. And he kind of, Martin Lawrence is playing this as a very kind of street character. So I wanted to get some kind of head wobble in there. And you can find the shot if you go to my website, www.alexwilliams.com. You can find this shot under my 3D demo reel, and if you go to the Open Season tab, you'll be able to see the shot play. So this was the line: when I'm a bearskin rug, they can walk all over me, but until that happens, I ain't going out without a fight. So the first thing I did was to write down the line of dialogue, and when you're approaching a line of dialogue, that's the first thing you want to do. You want to write it down on a piece of paper, so that you can kind of look at it and break it down into phrases. And here the phrases were: when I'm a bearskin rug, phrase number 1, they can walk all over me, but until that happens, I ain't going out without a fight. And you also want to note down what the accents are. What are the big accents in the line? When I'm a bearskin rug, so the accents on rug, they can walk all over me. And the accent there is on me, so I've underlined me. But until that happens, accent on happens, I ain't going out without a fight. And this was the really big accent in the shot, so that wanted the biggest kind of physical gesture. And so I had Boog kind of making a kind of punching gesture with his fist as if he was making a punch. So you're breaking it down into sections, you're breaking the dialogue down into chunks, and you're figuring out where the accents are. And then you can look in your timeline in Maya and you know what number those big accents are. When I'm a bearskin rug, we know that word rug happens at around about frame 123 just by looking in the timeline. And so then you know that your big accent is going to be around about frame 123. So this is where you can really start planning out your stuff. Then I know that the second big accent, they can walk all over me, is going to happen around about frame 153. But until that happens, now it's 189. I know I've got a big accent there. That means I'm going to need another major pose there. I ain't going out without a fight, and I need my biggest pose in the shot around about frame 235. And this has all started at frame 101, by the way. So I've got a pose approximately every second or a second and a half, and the whole shot is going to be about 5 seconds long. So here are the thumbnails I did. When I'm a bearskin rug, and I've kind of got a little up accent on rug. When I'm a bearskin rug, like his head is just going to kind of tilt up a little bit. That's the number of the shot, CRY, for the for the sequence, B40 was the shot number. And then they can walk all over me. Accent on me. So he's gonna go in towards Elliot. He's moving in towards Elliot now. They could walk all over me. But until that happens, now he's going to kind of move away from Elliot. He's going to kind of wiggle back a little bit. But until that happens, I'm going out. And this is kind of an anticipation. He's going to lift up his hand there without a fight and kind of make a punch there as he exits the screen. There's a still from the final image of the shot. And like I said, go ahead and check it out on the on my website. But the thing that I liked about this was that having done the work, having done the thinking and figured out the thumbnails, I found that the shot was actually really easy to animate. And that's why I really push this idea of doing good thumbnails, because the more you thumbnail stuff, the more you figure stuff out in advance, the easier it is to do good animation. And ultimately, that's the best thing you can take away from this course, is a work method that works for you, and a sense of being able to approach this stuff with some kind of ease and predictability. So you know, if you think about it, thumbnail it, do your key poses based on your thumbnails, that you're going to have a really solid structure to start your animation on. And that is the most important thing with animation, is planning things in advance and figuring out a work method to plan and time animation.